Hello and welcome to another Rolling Road video featuring a car and a Rolling Road dyno. The purpose of this is to put the car on the Rolling Road dyno, run it up, and then have a look on the computer screen and see how much power it reckons the engine is producing. This is a Citroen Saxo VTR.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
What do you mean you've seen this? It's brand new.
No, this one is brand new. You have not seen this before. You might have seen this car before. You might have seen it in a previous video where I uncovered some corrosion at the back. This is a 2002 Saxo VTR. It is not my wife's 1999 Saxo VTR, which also happens to be silver and looks exactly the same as this. That's a completely different car. That was on this dyno a couple of months ago. There's a video somewhere. Yeah, it'll be up there. This isn't that. This is a 2002 Saxo VTR. Now this is, well, there's two reasons why I'm doing this. Firstly, we have a run of TU engine cars. That is cars powered by PSA TU engine, Peugeot Citroen. Used to use this TU engine in a number of cars over the years. And the pattern seems to be that they all overproduce. Just TU engines and Skoda Felicias. Yeah, TU engines massively overproducing. Don't know why. Not all of them, admittedly, but all the 1.6s that have ever been on here have done. So I am intrigued. I want to know what is happening with this engine because I think it'll overproduce. It's supposed to be 98 horsepower. That's its rating, 98 horsepower. There were two versions of the Saxo VTR. There was the earlier version, which was 90 horsepower, and there's a later one, which is 2001 onwards, I think, which was 98 horsepower. The engines actually are slightly different, not much, but they are slightly different. But the main difference is in the mapping and the programming and everything like that. Now, my actual prediction, there's the word, my prediction will be, I'm going to lay it out now, I think this will do 105. Maybe even 106, 107. In fact, this car is owned jointly by my kids, and one of them is a massive Peugeot 106 fan. So if this does 106, he'll be happy. But he won't be happy for long, because the other reason I'm running this car on a dyno is that we're scrapping it. I know that seems an odd thing to do, to run a car on a dyno if you're going to scrap the car. Well, first off, why are we scrapping the car? It's rusty. Oh man, it's rusty. It's just too far gone. It's beyond. We actually bought it as a track car, but having got underneath it, yeah, it's not even fit for that. It's fit for the bin. It is so far gone. It is no. But originally we bought it as a birthday present for them. They're only 15 twins, but we bought it for them as a birthday present, give them something to do, something to tinker on. Well, they are going to tinker. They're going to take it to bits and sell it in parts because ain't getting the money back as a complete car, that's for sure. Now, one of the things we're going to be selling is the engine. So what better way to find out how good the engine is to anyone who comes down here and buys the engine than to say, watch the video, look at the screen. Of course, this could backfire if it underproduces. Or I could just not put the video out. No, I'm going to lay it out. I think it's going to do 106. I drove this car from Essex, just Kent-Essex border, back to here in Hampshire, quite a long way, with the back end hanging off, didn't realise. It was MOT'd and taxed and everything like that, but it shouldn't have been. And yeah, I drove it back, and as far as the engine and everything went, it was fine. Brakes fine, engine lovely, gearbox is okay, a bit baggy on the gear change, so the roll pin needs doing, but other than that, yeah, it actually felt quite good. So I'm confident, I think. So under the bonnet of Le Saxo, we find some horrendous welding. So this engine is the 1.6 litre 8 valve. It's an 8 valve engine. These engines are pretty bulletproof, apart from the one I put on my Hillman Imp. That one has died. I do have one here. No, it's not my engine. So basically, yeah, I think this engine's going to be okay. Basically, the VTR came in two different flavours, as I say, 90 horsepower and 98. I have previously put a Saxo VTR on the rollers before. The engine that actually went into my Hillman Imp, which is over there, but we don't talk about it. That was a blacktop engine, and that produced 99, straight out of the box. 120,000 miles on it, covered in chavvy stickers. The oil cap and the rocker cover and everything was full of gunk. It produced 99. So this, with 100,000 miles on it, and I've driven this quite a long way, and as I say, it drives lovely. The engine was sweet as a nut. I'm confident. The closest thing I've dynoed to this spec of car is actually a 106 Rally Series 2, which got put on here. That's supposed to be about 105, and it ended up kicking about 116. Spec-wise, this is about as close as you'll get to one of them. It's not quite the same spec, but it's as close as you'll get. Yeah, otherwise, there's not really much to report. It's just a nice engine. It's in good health. Hope it doesn't blow up. Right, so yeah, make your predictions. The only mods this has, and it's not really a mod, so I'm not going to count it, is the back box is missing, because we took it off to do some welding on the back before we realised you can't weld to rust. So there is no back box, but that won't make any power, any differences on the power. The rest of the exhaust from here, it's got the cat and everything, that's standard. And to be honest, without the back box, it doesn't actually sound that loud anyway. So, yeah. Oh, it's sad, isn't it? Right, let's go. Right, so I didn't go for the rev limiter that time because I don't think it makes a huge difference. It's an 8 valve. It won't pull that hard. These things only go to about VTRs. But, well, the rev limiter is, I think, at 6.2. So, yeah, they don't really pull much harder. Are we ready? All 102. 102. Not the 106 I was predicting. 102, so 5385, a little hiccupy, but I have to be honest, it's not fully warmed up. So I think that might sort itself out. And also, I don't know when it was last serviced. I don't know what the air filter's like. In fact, the fuel that's in it is about a year old. Normal unleaded E10, and it's about a year old. So given all that, that's not bad, is it? Let's try it again. Right, up for round 2. So I think my 106 is probably a bit optimistic. I mean, the fact it's doing 5 horsepower more than book already is pretty good. But yeah, I think my 106 might be optimistic. Are we ready? 102.9 again. It looks like it's 102, doesn't it? I'm gonna let it's still a bit on the cold side. I'm gonna run it for a bit and let it warm up. But that is, yeah, got a bit of a hiccup there. That's strange. I mean, that's probably, as I say, I don't know when the plugs were last done. The fuel in it is ancient. You know, the fact it's E10 doesn't necessarily mean I'm losing power, because the engine wouldn't necessarily advance itself and kind of set itself up to make the most of E5. But the fact it's E10 means it's got more ethanol in it than E5 would do, up to 10%. And of course, if it's sat around for ages, that will be absorbing moisture. So it won't make a huge difference, but it could cause a little hiccup like that. I mean, you don't actually feel that on the road, but then last time I drove this, the fuel was new. So yeah, 102.9 at 5.3, 88 at the wheels, or 88.5 at the wheels. Torque at the wheels will probably be quite impressive. I'll do a video about the torque at the wheels one day. 256, yeah, that's not bad. For reference, a Citroen BX turbo diesel is about the same. So that gives you an inkling as to how it actually puts the torque to the ground, not just what it produces at the flywheel. I'm going to run it a little longer, just get it a bit hotter, let the fan cut in and out and see if that makes any difference to this. I don't think it will. I think she is going to be 102, but we'll find out just in case. Right, so the fan's been in and out. And I've started braking it while I'm waiting. Sold some trim clips. Right, one more run. Right, last run, number 3. I don't think it's really going to be any different, to be honest. I looked at the graph as it was going up. It looked pretty much the same. But you never know. Oh, we've lost power. So it's running nicely now. It's ironed the kinks out. That could have been, it could still be fuel. It could just be that it's less sensitive to it when it's really hot. It has lost a tiny bit. So we've dropped 1 horsepower, or just about 1.5 horsepower, from the peak point, which is here at 5.5, which is exactly where it's meant to be. So, yeah, I don't think, well, let's overlay it quickly. There we go. So there's the runs overlaid. So when it was colder, it had this little kink in it here. And I think on the other one it had 2, didn't it? But I've lost that one. This one is where I took it to the limiter. That's the first run, the red, where I didn't take it to the limiter. And it was actually just sitting slightly higher. So that's probably because it was, maybe because it was slightly colder. The engine bay was a little colder, the air it was sucking in was a little colder, and it's kind of like a balancing act between the engine getting hot enough that all the oil and everything is nice and thin, and not too hot that everything's got a little bit tight, if that makes sense. Certain bits of it can get tight. In some cases, certain bits of it are more tight when they're cold, but it's just a balancing act, really. So it hasn't done what I wanted it to do as a TU and go out with a bang. No, actually, no, I didn't want it to go out with a bang. That's the opposite of what I wanted it to do. I wanted it to go out on a massive high because the other TUs have absolutely smashed the book figures by like 15%. They've got 106 1.1, my 106 1.1. We've had a 106 1 litre. As I say, we've had the Series 2 Rally. This has not done that, but it has comfortably beaten its book figure, and it's proven that the engine is healthy. So it's a sort of double-edged sword, really. So there we go. I can't really be too upset with that. It's beaten its book figure. The book figure 98, and the worst it did was 101 with a lovely graph. I can't really complain at that, can I? As I say, there's a little bit of me that's a bit, yeah, I was kind of hoping it would be like over the top. But think about it. The VTR that went on here before, which was the one in that thing over there, when it was still in a Saxo, did 99. This isn't really that different an engine. It's actually more efficient. It might even be slightly better on fuel. It's cleaner. Is it actually making any more power? Yeah, probably not. The cams in these are really mild. They're really, really tame. So as you can see, at 5,500, the power starts going off again. That's not a worn cam. That's just what they do. But otherwise, yeah, I can't really, who can have any complaints? It felt good on the road. So if you're driving one of these and it feels nippy on the road and feels nice and smooth, you're probably about 100 horsepower, which is pretty much what they said. So we didn't really need to do this. But I did need to do it to prove that engine is okay. So whoever buys this engine can now know there's no smoke, the power's right, everyone's happy, except this car because it's going to be scrapped. Thank you for your service.